and we're ready to go.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Providence Annual St. Patrick's Day celebration. Just a little bit different than in prior years. As we all know, the pandemic has hit Providence hard, but we are all weathering the storm by working together, and we can all see better days ahead. With more people getting vaccinated, we will soon be able to celebrate together. Until then, please remember to wear our masks and get vaccinated when your turn comes. I'd like to recognize the folks here with us today. First, my colleagues in government, Mayor Jorge Elorza, Council President Sabina Matos, and her lovely daughter Anne Marie is also joining us. Our co-event sponsors, Senate Majority Whip Mary Ellen Goodwin, State Representative Scott Slater, Councilwomen Kat Kerwin, Carmen Castillo, and Helen Anthony, along with Councilman Mike Correa and James Taylor. I'd also like to welcome Brother Dennis Malloy from LaSalle, who will provide our invocation. Our keynote speaker, Barbara Cottam, also Deputy Grand Marshal of the Providence St. Patrick's Day Parade, and retired Providence Fire Chief and Grand Marshal of the Providence St. Patrick's Day Parade, Michael, never at a loss for words, Dillon, will have some great parade news for us. As you can imagine, a lot of work goes into an event like this. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the folks who made this virtual event possible, the Planning Committee. From the Mayor's office, the wonderful Matthew Shumate and Alexander Baptista. From the Providence Arts, Tourism, and Culture group, Lizzie Arrojo. From the Providence City Council, the famous Billy Kepner. Typically on St. Patrick's Day, when we are gathered live in the Providence City Council chamber, we're delighted by the talent of the Mount Pleasant Kiltie Chorus, the world-renowned Deirdre Goulding School of Irish Dance, and the Rhode Island Professional Bagpipers Pipe and Drum Corps. But today, after our speaking program, we'll be showcasing their talent on a special video prepared for us by our own Billy Kepner. And now, without further ado, let's begin. As we gather today, let's remember that St. Patrick was a man of faith and honor and brought Christianity to the Emerald Isle. And today, it is not just a celebration of the Irish, but is a celebration of the feast of St. Patrick and is a holy day of obligation in Ireland. With that, it is now my absolute pleasure to introduce my friend and neighbor, Brother Dennis Malloy, FSC, the president of LaSalle Academy, who's going to provide our invocation today. Brother Malloy, welcome.
Brother Malloy, you're muted.
Thank you, Council President.
St. Patrick is the first person we think of when Irish Christianity is mentioned, mostly because he has this great holiday on March 17th every year. But St. Patrick is also much more than an excuse to drink green beer and to wolf down corned beef and cabbage. He also brought the good news of Jesus to Ireland. We know the Irish are a people who love to talk, who have been known to carry on a bit, and who have great poets and singers and songs. I'd like to frame our little invocation between two great Irish writers, William Butler Yeats and St. Patrick himself, the contrast between resignation and hope and darkness and light. Yeats writes, being Irish, he had an abiding sense of tragedy which sustained him through temporary periods of joy. Isn't that a great little expression? Being Irish, he had an abiding sense of tragedy which sustained him through temporary periods of joy. Don't we all have a couple of friends that come to mind when we hear an expression like this? I love the wit and the warmth of these words, which sadly have roots in hundreds of years of dispossession, starvation, and poverty. By contrast, the breastplate of St. Patrick tells us, I arise today through the strength of heaven, light of the sun, splendor of the fire, speed of lightning, swiftness of the wind, depth of the sea, stability of the earth, firmness of rock. God's might to uphold me, God's wisdom to guide me, God's word to speak for me, God's shield to protect me, afar and near, alone or in a multitude. The essence of St. Patrick's prayer is that he sees the inbreaking of hope and light through whatever confronts him, and trusts in the providence and in the presence of God. And so we pray. O loving, gracious, and merciful God, we come before you today in thanksgiving for your apostle to the Irish, St. Patrick, some 1,500 years ago. We thank you that in every age, you raise up great champions of light and hope, women and men who struggle for justice and fullness of life for all of God's children. Lord, how often in our own day have we broken our covenant with you to be your people and to love our neighbors as ourselves, regardless of race, creed, religion, or who one loves. In the powerful words and the driving Celtic music of a great evangelical Christian in Belfast, Robin Marks sings, does a cry ring out from a broken nation, from a people who have been brought low? Was pride in our hearts? Did we grieve your spirit, Lord? Have we blocked the ancient wells that flowed? Here is our covenant prayer, who call upon your name. We humble ourselves before you. Come heal this land, not just Ireland, but our land here as well. May this land we love be a place of safety, be a light for all the nations of this earth. May your streams of love, may they flow here freely, here where every stranger finds a home. Here is our covenant prayer, who call upon your name. We humble ourselves before you, Lord. Come heal this land. Help us to create communities that will build your kingdom here on earth, communities that will protect the poor, stand up for the vulnerable, and advocate for those who are not seen and heard. Help our nation, which is deeply divided. May we come together for the good of all your daughters and sons, and do as you have called us to do, to act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with you. Help our communities, which are struggling with inequality, inequity, unrest, and fear. Help us to work towards reconciliation with one another and with you, Lord. And for all of your young people who have struggled and lost so much in their education this long, hard year, may these students be blessed with creativity to imagine and build a more just world, courage to face the challenges ahead, conviction to live with integrity, and compassion for those who suffer or who have lost hope. And finally, Lord, grant us a vision of your world as you would have it, a world where peace is built with justice and justice is guided by love. We make our prayer through the intercession of your apostle, St. Patrick, and in Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you very much, Brother Malloy, for your beautiful prayer and for all you do for the LaSalle community. Now it is my pleasure to introduce to you the Providence Mayor, Jorge Elorza. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Leader Ryan. And thank you, Brother Malloy, for getting us started on that foot. I want to pick up on the points that you just raised, especially around community and coming together, because I think that that's a message that really resonates and is needed in this moment. So thank you, brother. I also want to recognize Council President Sabina Matos, who's joining us here today. Our keynote speaker, Barbara Cottam. It's great to share the panel with you. And Chief Dillon, always great to have you, and thank you for everything that you've done to bring us together over the years. So in this spirit of community and coming together, when I think about St. Patrick's Day, I think about us coming together, creating community, and looking out for one another. This has been such a tough year on so many of us, but I think it's been just another reminder that we're all so interconnected, that if anyone in our community is not well, then all of us are not well. What we've also seen is volunteers, frontline workers, medical personnel, and people up and down the line, everyone stepping up and being part of the solution. It's not only that we are in it together when things are rough, but to overcome those rough moments, it's also about coming together. And that's what we've also seen in our community. And then, the last piece of coming together and creating community that I think of, or that I'm brought to, when we celebrate this day every year, is about celebrating the contributions that the Irish American community has made to our society. And I want to share with you a personal story of something that happened to me just yesterday. So at the end of my day, I went to my mother's house to pick up my son. They take care of him during the day, and then either mommy or daddy, we go and we pick him up in the evening. So yesterday, when I went to pick up little Omar, my mother was cooking, and she asked me if I wanted to eat. So after work, I was hungry, and I said, sure. I went to the kitchen, and would you believe what this Guatemalan immigrant who came here as undocumented, Spanish is spoken primarily in our home. We shop at the local shops, typically the Spanish bodegas. Would you believe what my mother was cooking? My mother had made corned beef and cabbage in honor of St. Patrick's Day and to all the contributions that Irish Americans have made in our society. And so, coming from the son of Guatemalan immigrants, we are all connected. We all share this city in common. We bring common values to the table, and we can celebrate each other in ways that lifts all of our communities up together. That's exactly what St. Patrick's Day does every year when we come together. And I know it's been so difficult that we can't be together in person, but I know that we're going to be creative, and it may be at a different day and time throughout the year, but we will take a rain check and we will come together to celebrate St. Patrick's Day properly in terms of coming together and celebrating with each other in person. That's something that I very much look forward to. And I have to tell you that having events like these and the moment that we're going through right now in our city makes me very optimistic. Hope is on the horizon because we know that the vaccine has already arrived. We're being told that we're going to receive increasing doses every single week. And now it's just a matter of getting the shots into people's arms. I want to encourage everyone to please go to vaccinatepvd.com, or you can call my office at 311 and we will schedule you for an appointment as soon as you are eligible for the vaccine. The finish line is in sight. We're going to be there soon, and this is going to allow us to continue to build that sense of community and literally come together in the way that Brother Malloy referred to in his opening. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in and joining us virtually as part of this community. And we look forward to celebrating in more traditional ways very, very soon. Happy Thanksgiving, happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. And Erin Gobra. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Now I would like to introduce my colleague and our City Council President, Sabina Matos. Council President, welcome.
Thank you, Leader Ryan. Thank you. It's truly a pleasure for me to be here with all of you. Brother Malloy, that was a beautiful prayer. So thank you so much for sharing that prayer with all of us. We need it, especially in this time with everything that's going on. Barbara Cottam, it's truly a pleasure to see you being the keynote speaker. It's always a pleasure of seeing you also. And Chief Dillon, thank you for everything that you do. And thank you, Mayor Elorza, for you and your team collaborating with Leader Ryan and the City Council staff to make this happen, to make this a reality. This year, we're doing this virtually. I just want to show you this. I brought this from Ireland. We went to Dublin in 2019, and I was so looking forward to the parade. I was so ready for it. And then we didn't have a parade last year, and we don't have one this year. But I said, I'm going to wear this today, even though it's going to be virtually. But I'm so looking forward to the time where we can all be together and celebrating again. I was here, my daughter was here because she wanted to make sure everybody saw her St. Patrick's Day outfit, but she already took off. So we are so grateful to be able to celebrate. As you know, my husband is Irish, and I have the pleasure of getting to know closer the Irish culture and experiencing the wonderful unity in the family and the family gatherings. I always enjoy that. We're going to be just like the Mayor Elorza said. My family, traditionally, we have a date over the weekend in which my uncle invites the Irish in the family over, and the Dominicans and Puerto Ricans may come dish a cabbage for the Irish in the family. So I'm looking forward to that also this weekend. But again, I just want to say, I just hope that we can get to the point in which we can be all together in the same place, celebrating again. My daughter, since she was 2 years old, she used to walk in the parade all the time. I have the pictures of her enjoying herself in the parade. So I'm looking forward until the date on which we can be together and do that again. And in order to do that, we're going to need for everyone to remember to get the vaccine as soon as you're able to, but also we have to wear our masks and wash our hands. So please, let's continue to do that so we can see an end to this pandemic and we can all be together in the same place again. So thank you, and thank you, Leader Ryan, for making this happen.
Thank you, Council President. I'm glad you could be here today to celebrate the ancestry and the indelible mark that the Irish have made on America, and particularly our great city and state. And I just want to say, Council President, hold on to that scarf, because I think Chief Dillon is going to share some news that might make you kind of happy. But as many of you know, I'm the daughter of Ireland. My grandfather immigrated to the United States in the late 19th century from County Leitrim. His immigrant story is no different than most. He moved to the United States, settled in Providence, in Elmhurst neighborhood in Providence, one of the neighborhoods that I represent, to find a better life for him and for his family. He was a proud Irish American, and when our nation entered the First World War, he served the United States valiantly and was wounded in the trenches of France. He was awarded the Lady of Columbia Wound Certificate, which was actually the precursor to the Purple Heart by President Woodrow Wilson. It's because of him and thousands like him that our Irish roots run deep in Providence. After the war, he worked at Brown and Shop, was a founding parishioner at St. Pius V Church in the same parish where my husband and I raised our children. He labored to help our country survive the Great Depression and then another world war. It's because of my family's ancestral connection to Ireland that I sit before you today. It's because of the customs and heritage that have passed down from generation to generation that the Celtic spirit still resonates today in all parts of our country. Virtually every realm of American endeavor, from steelworking to biotechnology to literature, has been enriched by the hands and minds of Irish descendants. Today, we recognize the obstacles Irish Americans faced when they immigrated to our shores, but we also celebrate the incredible breadth and depth of their contributions to our country. It's said that on St. Patrick's Day, everyone is Irish, and I don't think there is any greater honor. As an Irish American, I know how dedicated we are to keeping our customs alive and continue to share them with our community. Today is a great example of that celebration. Thank you. I would now like to introduce Chief Michael Dillon. He joined the Providence Fire Department in November of 1974. He was promoted to lieutenant in 1985 and captain in 1990. In 1991, he was promoted to battalion chief. In 2001 to deputy assistant chief. In 2004, he was appointed assistant chief of the Department of Operations by then Mayor David Cicilline. In 2005, Chief Dillon graduated from the prestigious Executive Fire Officers Program at the National Fire Academy in Emmitsburg, Maryland. Chief Dillon served as the local emergency planning committee chairman for 10 years from 2003 to 2013 and as the city's emergency response coordinator from 2011 to 2013. Chief Dillon retired from the Providence Fire Department in 2013, but continues to serve Rhode Island firefighters as an instructor coordinator for the Rhode Island Fire Academy. It's my great pleasure to welcome the 2020 Grand Marshal of the Providence St. Patrick's Day Parade, Chief Michael J. Dillon.
Chief Dillon, you're muted.
Chief, are you muted?
Okay. Yeah, thank you very
Chief.
much. Yeah, thank you very much, Lita, for that very warm introduction, and thank you. I was asked to be the Grand Marshal in 2019, or the Deputy Grand Marshal, to represent the interests of the public safety contingent, and especially Irish Americans and their contribution in public safety in the police department. As I know, Lita, Ryan's father was a Providence police officer, and all the Providence firefighters of Irish descent. But in the fire service, we're all brothers. And in the fire service, in brothers and sisters, I should say. And in the fire service, we take great pride in our contributions to the community and our ability to protect the community. With that, we were very disappointed last March 2020 when we were unable to have our St. Patrick's Day Parade because many firefighters from across Rhode Island were going to participate in that parade, along with many fire apparatus that was also going to be in the parade. Luckily, this year, we are going to be able to have our St. Patrick's Day Parade on September 18th, a Saturday in September. I am anticipating very good weather for that event, and I'm sure Brother Malloy will have a prayer for us to make sure that we have good weather. But as an Irish American, and as one of the first immigrant groups into this country, we take pride in the fact that we invite all people, all of our brother immigrants, to celebrate with us on that date. The date again is going to be September 18th. The time of the parade is going to be noontime. In addition to that day, the CVS 5K race is going to take place, and there's going to be the St. Patrick's Day 5K race right after that. Our parade will step off with me leading it, and Barbara right there with me at noontime on the 18th. So we'll look forward to seeing Mayor Elorza, Council President Matos, Lita, Ryan. I'm sure I'll see her before then. And I would be remiss if I did not congratulate all of the great people that participate this. And I'm not even going to attempt to name names because there's so many people that work very hard to do this, to put this parade together and make it a successful event for the charities that we support through the St. Patrick's Day, Providence St. Patrick's Day Committee. So thank you very much once again. I am highly honored by being asked to be the Grand Marshal, and I look forward to September 18th, and I look forward to seeing all of you close together, as Lita Ryan pointed out before. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That is the absolute best news I've heard all year. So we're we're really going to be looking forward to the fall. Thank you, Chief Dillon. I'd like to just take this opportunity to recognize a few of my colleagues who have joined us today. I see Deputy Majority Leader Nicholas Narducci. Thank you for joining us. And I also see my good friend, Councilman Espinal. Thanks for joining us here today. And I think you also heard the great news that we're going to have a Providence St. Patrick's Day parade in the fall. I would now like to introduce our keynote speaker, Barbara Cottam, who is this year's Deputy Grand Marshal for the parade. Providence has had a career that spans politics and the private sector. She began her career in the press office of Governor J. Joseph Garrahy and was press secretary to Mayor Joseph Paolino, and then press secretary for Governor Bruce Sunland. She currently serves as the executive vice president for public affairs at Citizens Bank. She's also chairwoman of the Rhode Island Board of Education. Barbara is married to John J. Garrahy, a Providence lawyer and son of Smith Hill native Governor Joe Garrahy. Barbara and John are parents of two beautiful daughters, Catherine and Elizabeth. Barbara is also attended Providence College with me. We did our undergraduate work at PC and graduated in the same fantastic class. So we have a personal connection. Barbara will be honoring, as she says, her heritage, as she always does, by making her Nana's Irish soda bread, which always comes out moist. Welcome to Barbara Cottam.
Thank you, Councilwoman. It's great to be here. Top of the morning to all. I want to thank Grand Marshal Dillon for that great announcement. Mayor Elorza, Council President Matos, Majority Leader Ryan, and Brother Malloy. I want to start by shouting out to Patrick Griffin and the entire parade committee and city government and the city government leaders and departments who really put that parade on. It was such a disappointment last year, and I'm thrilled that we're going to be able to march in September. I'm honored to join to celebrate St. Patrick and St. Patrick's Day today, and humbled to share a wee bit of my own Irish history. The date was November 7, 1960. There was a cold chill this November day, and she dressed in her wool coat and finest hat as the record player scratched out the ballad, Danny Boy. It was a special day, a day to be celebrated not only for Irish Americans, but for all committed to social justice and opportunity. Anna Reynolds Cottam, my Nana, took the bus downtown from her Smith Hill apartment to join 45,000 others in front of Providence City Hall to hear Senator John F. Kennedy, the Democratic nominee for president, on the eve of his election. Nana talked to me often about the importance of this election and its importance to her family's history. Her mother, Margaret, had left the beautiful countryside of Kilnalek in County Cavan as a teenager at the turn of the last century to find opportunity in America. I have visited the old thatched homestead with its dirt floor that she left behind, along with her family and friends, to begin her new life in America in a 3-family home at 743 Chalkstone Avenue in Providence. I remember hearing stories of life as an Irish immigrant. It is the part of our Irish heritage that was brave and courageous, the part that persevered with optimism as they faced the challenges of trying to build a new life in America. It is similar to the story of so many immigrants today. Irish immigrants, we know, faced discrimination. They were not welcomed, and in many cases were not allowed to vote. Signs throughout the city and ads in the Providence Journal said, No Irish need apply or no Irish wanted. To my Nana, Kennedy's election as the first Irish Catholic president represented hope for her and many others of Irish descent that they had earned their spot in the American dream. During his short time in office, Kennedy worked to open the American dream to everyone by taking significant measures to ensure equal rights and opportunities for all. Kennedy's election signaled optimism and hope. My husband John's grandfather, Jack Garrahy, was an immigrant who also set out in his search of a better life. Like many others, he came alone to join his sister in America, and a year later, his wife and their 2 young children crossed the ocean. Jack's son, my father-in-law, J. Joseph Garrahy, as some of you know, even went on to become governor of our great state. He never forgot from where he came and would recount how years before his election, his mother, born in Lahinch in County Clare, had cleaned the State House hallways, never imagining her son would walk them one day. My Uncle Bud, Charles Cottam, delivered a St. Patrick's Day address 52 years ago. He talked about my great-grandmother and immigrants like her who came to America with similar stories of great resilience and pluck, fleeing poverty or war in search of opportunity that comes with living in a free society. Uncle Bud urged his audience to embrace their roots, and I quote, "Never ignore poverty, permit oppression, sustain bigotry, support ignorance, or countenance injustice." 52 years ago, and I echo that call today. I stand here embracing my heritage and remembering all who have braved the journey before us. The story of my family is no different than the stories of so many families in our great city now. We must remember that we are rich because of our rich cultures and diversity. Our past will always be a part of who we are, but let's not lose sight of how we can come together to ensure Rhode Island is inclusive and filled with opportunity. It's a powerful shared experience. Today, we celebrate the Irish and proudly embrace the heritage and tradition as Irish Americans. We salute our ancestors who became a part of the fabric of Providence and Rhode Island. In their honor, take a moment to enjoy a piece of traditional Irish soda bread with piping hot tea, or better still, a few pints, and raise a glass to the old country, giving thanks for the American dream our ancestors could only imagine for us. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Sláinte.
That was absolutely beautiful, Barbara. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. It is now my pleasure to introduce the performers for our event. And I mentioned that Billy had worked diligently to put together a nice video. And it's my pleasure to introduce, first up, we'll have the Mount Pleasant High School Kiltie Chorus under the leadership of the very talented Danielle Lucchini. They will be followed by the amazing world-renowned dancers from the Goulding School of Irish Dance. Special treat, they're actually going to be dancing on the Van Leesen Bridge, which is really exciting. And then we will end the presentation with a performance by the Rhode Island Professional Firefighters Pipe and Drum Corps, right in front of the Irish Famine Memorial in Providence. I hope you enjoy the entertainment. Billy? We're waiting for the entertainment to plug in. Here we go. Thank you, Billy.
Down through the valleys of shady, he whistled and he sang till the rain was gray, and he won the heart of the baby. I knew I know that.
Thank you all for your patience. Billy is trying to get the video running for us.
Yes, 1 second. One second while I figure this out. I apologize.
No worries, Billy. It's going to be really spectacular.
Leader and Billy, if you'd like, I could read the citation that comes later on in the program.
Do
That would
that?
be great. Thank you, sir.
All right. All right, let me cue this up now. All right. All right. Well, we do our part every year to recognize the not only the St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee, but all of the people who are being recognized by the organization and the committee's work every day. So it is my pleasure today to read the citation that we will be getting into the hands of the Parade Committee, which reads, I, Jorge Elorza, Mayor of the City of Providence, do hereby confer upon you this citation in recognition of your ardent commitment to our Irish American community and to the residents of Providence. And we thank you for your praiseworthy support for neighborhood social activities and all of the charitable causes that you support. You have a record of achievement, earning all of you the thanks and recognitions, the thanks and congratulations of the people of Providence at this special St. Patrick's Day celebration. Given under the seal of the Mayor of the City of Providence, the 17th day of March, 2021, we present this citation to the St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee. So we will make sure that we get this into your hands and get it to you properly.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And Billy, are we ready to show? We're ready? It's
One more
worth waiting
time.
for. It's time to kick up our heels and sing.
Okay, we're gonna try this one more time because this is getting ridiculous. I'm trying one more time.
It's okay, Billy. It's going to be worth waiting for.
And leader, I can fill in a little bit more time. So the citation that I read, we have that for the St. Patrick's Day committee, but we also have the same citation for the Mount Pleasant High School Kiltie Chorus. So thank you for their participation. We also have one for the Goulding School of Irish Dance. So we'll make sure that we get the citation out to everyone, and want to thank everybody for their participation in this.
Good job, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, leader. I was trying to read slow too. Give a little bit more time.
You did really well. You did really well. I like your sash, the parade sash, Mr. Mayor. I noticed that right away. Couldn't find mine.
I'm in the same boat as President Matos. You know, we get like one chance a year to use this. I wasn't going to pass that up.
Well, it's exciting news that we're going to be able to have a parade in September. So thanks to the parade committee for weathering the storm and making sure that we could certainly celebrate in Providence. It's a wonderful event. A lot of hard work goes into that for sure. Billy, are we going to be able to pull this together?
I think so. Just give me one more try.
Okay, one more try.
You know, these things, they work and work and work until you need them. And you know, I'm sure the team tested it and ran it and everything was good, but when it's showtime.
Oh, I'm seeing it.
There we go.
Off we go. I'm gonna make you cry this one.
And down through the valleys of shame, you whistled and you sang till the rain was gray, and you won the heart of the babe. me ma, when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. They pull my hair, they stole my comb, well that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she is the belle of Belfast City. She is a courting 1, 2, 3. Pray, won't you tell me who she is? Tell me ma, when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. They pull my hair, they stole my comb, well that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she is the belle of Belfast City. She is a courting 1, 2, 3. Pray, won't you tell me who she is? Now the slowly says it's not so hard, that boy not fighting for us. With the door in the ring that shouts, oh my true love, are you well? Out she comes with righteous stories and a
was lovely. Thank you. Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you to our presenters, our entertainers. We've certainly had a wonderful show. We've had speakers, we've had singers, we've had dancers, we've had bagpipes, beautiful prayer. I'd like to now leave you with one of my favorite Irish blessings. May joy and peace surround you, contentment latch your door, and happiness be with you now and bless you evermore. Happy St. Patrick's Day from Providence. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Barbara Cottam. Thank you, Dave Dillon. Thank
Great
you all.
program leader. Thank you.